Chapter 18. Page 218. After making his calculations on the presidential election in 1928, Robert sent the following forecast to Mr. Kenilworth. July 20, 1927. 1928 presidential election. In order to determine the conditions that will prevail during 1928, and who will be elected, we must look up past cycles. I refer you to Ecclesiastes 3:15. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past. We know that we are repeating past cycles as referred to in Ezekiel's prophecy. Chapter 20:46 Son of man, set thy face toward the south, and drop thy word toward the south, and prophesy against the forest of the south field, and say to the forest of the south, Hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will kindle a fire in thee, and it shall devour every green tree in thee and every dry tree. The flaming flame shall not be quenched, and all faces from the south to the north shall be burned therein. The troubles in Nicaragua, the destructive floods and storms which have visited Florida, and the destruction by the floods along the Mississippi during the past spring all show that troubles are starting in the south. We are in a cycle which will repeat and cause wars which will start from the south and southwest, probably Mexico. All of these events will have a great bearing on the presidential election in 1928. Because war will be in the air and the people will be very much upset. As referred to in Exodus 32:17. And when Joshua heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moses, There is a noise of war in the camp. There will be political wars and revolutionary changes in the United States in 1928. People will want to choose new leaders. Read Judges 5:8. They chose new gods, then was war within the gates. Was there a shield or spear seen among 40,000 in Israel? The people will need to choose an able leader to prepare for the great war in the air. I have made a study of President Coolidge's date of birth, name and numbers. He is the strongest man that the Republicans have, but he has not wanted to accept the nomination and will probably not if he can get out of it. He has the best chance of any Republican for being elected. Along about March or April 1928, some important event will happen which is likely to cause President Coolidge to refuse to accept the nomination. When the convention meets in June or July, there will be long delays, dissatisfaction and fights among the old Republican leaders as to whom they will nominate. From the cycle that we are repeating, there is a strong indication that President Coolidge will not be renominated. He will do something which will cause large financial interests and moneyed men to withdraw their support from him. Since God requires that which is past, then past cycles and events in the history of the United States must repeat. We look up the names and dates of birth to determine when certain names or initial letters should repeat. The letter C is one which repeats in events of the United States as shown by the election of Grover Cleveland the second time in 1892. President Calvin Coolidge, with the C strong in both names, succeeded President Harding, August 2, 1923. And was elected in 1924. This was really a repetition of the letter C, the same as Cleveland's second election, and in view of the fact that President Coolidge has served about 6 years, the letter C is not due to repeat its vibration in 1928. But might repeat in 1932 when President Coolidge could possibly be elected again following the war and troublesome times.
The most favorable letters for the Republican Party which could repeat in 1928 are B, J, F, and L.
In view of the cycle which indicates war from 1928 to 1932, there is a strong indication that the letter L will repeat as it did during the Civil War when Lincoln was president. This might mean the nomination of Bora, Butler, Johnson or Loudon. I haven't the dates of birth of any of these men, therefore, am unable to say before the nominations take place and we know whom their opponents will be, whether any of them would be elected or not. In regard to the Democratic nomination, the cycle indicates a strong possibility of victory for the Democrats or a new party. Governor Alfred Smith is not likely to be nominated. And if nominated would not be elected. The letter S has never appeared in the surname of any president of the United States, and as we are only due to repeat past events, he has a very slim chance of being elected. The letters F, M and R are due to repeat for the Democrats. This might mean Ford, McAdoo or Reed. According to the date of birth, cycle and numbers, McAdoo would have a much better chance of getting the nomination than Smith. Reed looks stronger than either of them. Governor Smith will continue popular, and the possibilities of him being nominated will look promising until about May 1928, when there will be a sudden change of public opinion against him. Support will be withdrawn, and some of the strong Democratic leaders will turn to other possible candidates. Smith's name will no doubt come before the convention, but I see no chance of him being nominated. There is a strong indication that the man who will be nominated will be a dark horse. A man probably born in May or June. Revolutionary changes are indicated. The question of the 18th Amendment is likely to split both of the old parties. A farm and labor party, or some other political party may spring up and defeat both of the old parties. The public will be very much divided and sentiment will be badly mixed in the summer and fall of 1928. With the present data in hand, and the events that are to follow the next presidential election, my judgment is that a Republican will not be elected. The president who takes office in March 1929 will start under very unfavorable conditions, similar to those which faced President Wilson at the time he entered his second term. And also conditions will repeat similar to those that followed the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1861. There will be trouble with foreign countries over immigration laws. Tariff will be a sore spot and cause disagreements with foreign countries. I will have my calculations made up for the stock and commodity markets for 1928 and 1929 soon, and when they are completed we'll send a copy of them. There will be some big opportunities for long pull trading in stocks and commodities during 1928. I want you to be in on the deals with me and hope I can help you make $1 million. Robert Gordon,